Hello all, welcome to Tech Capture. So in our previous video, we gone through Composer. We just created our Cloud Composer environment and we created some basic DAGs. So these are the some DAGs we created, and we also discussed how we can manage the dependencies between the DAG. So these DAGs were too simple, and we just tried to understand the Airflow here with the few DAGs. Okay, now we'll jump into the Google Cloud and we'll try creating some basic data pipeline in Google Cloud using the Cloud Composer. Okay, so whatever the DAGs we created in our previous video, like okay, we created some sample DAG, they created DAG with some dependencies, and then we created some import error DAG just to replicate the error. Okay, how import error will look like. I'll just create one simple data pipeline, maybe data pipeline. Okay, I'll just give the name as a simple uh, data pipeline .py. Okay, so we'll create one simple data pipeline DAG. So let's try. Okay, so what we want to build, so we'll to just start loading one file. So I am having one CSV file that we want to load into the BigQuery. So let's go and create one bucket first. So I'll keep my file CSV file in BigQuery, and with the help of Airflow I want to load that file in a BigQuery. Okay, so the simple use case, I'll just create one bucket. I'll just create bucket name, let's say tt, and then I can give like I am getting file in landing 000. Okay, so some random name I am giving, and let's create a bucket. So I'll just upload one CSV file into this bucket for employee CSV, and that I want to load into the BigQuery. Okay, so I'll just upload file. This is simple employee CSV file. So let's say where I'm having the file. Okay, so I am having this file. Yeah, so I uploaded this file, and this file I need to upload to the load this data to the BigQuery. Okay, so let me just open BigQuery also. Let me refresh. Yeah, file is here. Let me go to the BigQuery, and BigQuery, let me create one data set. Okay, so here I'll just create one data set, maybe Airflow demo. I'll just give the name as Airflow demo. Create data set, and name I'll just give Airflow demo. Okay, I will keep the region as the US. So Airflow demo is created. Now what I will do, I'll just start writing my DAG. Okay, so this is my simple. So template we can pick from here, that is the basic template. Okay, so I'll just pick this template. I will just, so I don't need, let's say I'll start with the first task. Okay, so these things I will keep as it is. I'll remove this as well. I'm not using a Python operators. Okay, and I'll remove this as well for now. Okay, so first task, I need a load data to BigQuery. So I'll just write my task load CSV, and here we can use operator. Which operator we can use? GCS to BigQuery. So if you go, there is a GCS to BigQuery operator. Okay, so this is GCS to BigQuery operator, GCS to BigQuery. Okay, and we can use, so we have to use this way. So I'll just use this. Okay, So I am using GCS2 BigQuery operator. So as I am already having some code editors already here, so it might auto suggest me the code, okay, for GCS2 BigQuery operator, but I have to import this as well. So how I can import this operator? So you can already see here. So I have to import, let's say from, okay, and import GCS. So here I have to write import GCS to BigQuery operator. Okay, now I have GCS to BigQuery operators. Okay, so now what are the things required for this GCS to BigQuery operator? You can see it required bucket, source object, destination dataset, schema field if required, schema object. Okay, so I'll just start putting the required things. So first is definitely a task ID. So let me just push the task ID. Okay, so task ID, okay, load CSV, then bucket name. So bucket we already created, so bucket name I can give T landing where our file is available. TT landing, and then what else it required? It required source object. So it's auto suggesting me because I am having Copilot enabled for my VS Code. Employee data.csv, that is my file name in storage bucket. So if your file is in particular folder, let's say suppose in XYZ folder, so you can write folder slash and your file name. Okay, that will work. So this is employee.csv source object, and then destination dataset. So we need to write destination project dataset. So this is TT labs G01, and our dataset is Airflow demo. Okay, and employee data. So let's validate, it is Airflow demo only. Yeah, Airflow demo. So that also we added now. TT labs 01, Airflow demo, and employee data. Okay, then we need source. What is the file of, what is the type of the file? So source format is CSV. Skip leading row 1 because first is header. Then write disposition, we need, yeah, truncate write, we need to truncate and load table every time, and schema we need to auto detect. Okay, so schema would be auto detect true. So these all parameters will pass. Okay, so that is sufficient. So now I think I should be able to upload my file. I'll just save this file. Name I will just give as GCS to BQ pipeline. Okay, so yeah, everything I have done. I'll just upload this file to the DAG folder. Okay, I'll just create one more tab and I'll go back to the DAG folder. So from here it would be easy. I'll just go to the DAG folders and upload my file. So inside DAG folders I will upload our dag.py file. Okay, so this simple data pipeline.py I uploaded, and just wait for couple of minutes till the time we see our DAG in Airflow UI. Okay, so it will take some time for DAG to display here, so just wait for some time. I'll just pause this video for 2 minutes and then we'll see a DAG execution. Okay, so our DAG is available here, GCSToBigQuery pipeline. I'll just open. Okay, and we'll just try to trigger and let's see what happens if it will load data to a BQ. It's just loading. Let's check the code. Okay, we missed one line, that's why it's not showing. And actually two things, one is we have to add the DAG and here we have to add the task. Okay, so that's one thing we missed, so let's add again to the bucket. Okay, and I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. After that I'll just refresh this code, then we will see currently it is showing 0 task here, then it will show 1 task. Okay, let's check now. We should see 1 task. Yeah, we could see the 1 task now. Load GCSToBigQuery. Let's trigger it and let's see if it will load file to the BigQuery. Okay, so it's currently in queued status. So currently we do not have any table in BigQuery. Okay, once we refresh we should see the table. Yeah, this table is created just now, and let's check the time of the table creation. So it's 13:28. You can see the time, it's exactly same time. Let's see the data. So we should see the data as well. All 1000 records are there in this table. Okay, so it means our DAG is successful, so it's loaded all data to BigQuery. Now in real time it might cause a lot of failure because it should validate first if the file is available in GCS bucket or not. Okay, so for that we have to first check if file is available in bucket or not, so that we can do with the sensor. Okay, so there is a sensor concept. So let's say I will show you here. We have to check the object in GCS bucket, so it should be GCS object sensor airflow. Okay, so you will see the documentation for that here. So I will just import from this. So from this module I will import GCS object. Yeah, it's already auto detected. Okay, so I just imported that one, and then I will just write check file. So first I will check file, so this should be before. Okay, let me just put it before. So I will put first task to check the file. Okay, and then I will just write okay, it auto detected code, and yeah, it automatically took everything, file name, bucket, yeah, everything it took automatically, and I will just create this. But then we should define the dependency that first my check file should load. Okay, and then load CS we should load. Okay, so we made these changes. Okay, and then I will again upload the DAG. So DAG will be uploaded here and we'll run it again. So we don't need to delete the table because we are having truncate mechanism, so every time it will just truncate the table and load again. So I'll just update the DAG file. Now it should have two tasks. First it should check the file. So what I will do now, I will just delete the file from landing first, so it will fail if there is no file, and it will wait for file. Okay, so it will not immediately fail, it will wait for file for the time interval. For which time interval? It will wait for the 600 seconds. So it will wait for, let's say, 10 minutes for file. Okay, and after 10 minutes it will fail, and after every 10 seconds it will check. Okay, so that's these two variables are used. So after every 10 minutes, after every 10 seconds it will check, and the same process it will keep doing for 10 minutes. I will show you that with a demo. I'll just delete the file from here. Okay, I will not keep the file here. And once, so let's check, we uploaded the code, but let's say if our code is updated. Yeah, so it's updated, check file is there. Let me just reload. Yeah, now you could see there are two tasks. One first will check the file and another will load the file. So I'll just trigger the DAG, and the only the first task will keep running until unless you get the file. Okay, so now if we go here, it trigger our first task, it's in queued status, so it's triggered automatically. Okay, I mean it's triggered already. And let's check the log. So it will keep checking for the file every 10 seconds. So we'll just do wrap. So let's refresh the log. Yeah, so you can see this is checking for the file in this bucket, and this is the file name. So no file found. Then after 10 seconds again it will check. See, for next 10 seconds, so this is first time it checked. You can see this GCS.py97. After 10 seconds again it's checking. Okay, so yeah, every 10 seconds it is checking. What I will do now, I will upload the file now, and after that you could see it get the file, it print the log that success criteria met, and then it will just load the file into a BigQuery. Okay, now let's check the log. So it's still checking. Okay, it's still not found the file. Immediately it will complete as soon as it find the file. Yeah, you can see it's completed, and you will see the logs also. I'll show you the logs. Yeah, success criteria met, existing, so file existed and this task is successful. After that immediately it went for second task, and the second task is also completed. It just loaded data into BigQuery, so we can validate the time in BigQuery. So here you can see earlier it was 1328. If I refresh, it should be around 132 to 133. Yeah, so you can see, because table if we haven't deleted, we just truncated and loaded data again. So last modified time you can see the latest one. So this is how we can add a sensor. Okay, and then we can first check if file is exist in the bucket, so we can avoid a failure because of unavailability of the file. So we can configure our poke interval and timeout based on our requirement. But let's say again we have one more requirement. Okay, so we have requirement that this file is coming to landing bucket, and as soon as file is processed, as soon as the job is completed, I need to move files to the processed bucket, so the another bucket. Okay, so how we can do that? So let's say I will create one more, or let's say instead of bucket I will create folder here. So I'll just create one folder processed. Okay, so as soon as my data is processed, I don't want another like duplicate data to be processed again or same file processed again. So I want to move this to the process. So for that I can use one more operator, that is GCS to GCS. Okay, so for that I will just write code. I will just go here and I will just write move file. Okay, so as soon as it's processed, it will move the file, and I'll just write, I will just do with the operator GCS to GCS operator, and you can see the task ID move file, source bucket, this one source object, this one destination bucket I am using the same, and the destination object, it would be now processed slash employee data. So it is just moving to the processed bucket, and I have to import this one, else it will fail. So how I will do, I will just find this one and then I will use that. Okay, so I will just import from this. Okay, that's done. So I will just upload the file again. Okay, one thing is remaining, that we have to add dependencies move file. So first it will check for a file, then it will load file to BigQuery, and then it will move files to the processed bucket. So this file will not process again. Okay, so let's go back, upload the file DAG file to the bucket. Override, so it will make the changes. Yeah, and then let's for code changes to be reflected, so we should be seeing one more new import for GCS to GCS. So let's wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll resume and see if our changes are reflected. Okay, there is error. Let's see what is this error. So cannot import, I think there is something, some typo or something in GCS to GCS. So let's check. From Airflow provider Google Cloud transfer GCS to GCS, import GCS to GCS operator. That is correct. Where it is throwing an error, line number 8. Yeah, here it is throwing an error. Let's check. Let's check if this line is available in code, because I believe it couldn't save. Yeah, so this line is somehow missed in code because we haven't saved after adding this line. So let me save it and upload again. Okay, so let me hard save from here. Yeah, and then upload again. So I'm just doing it raw because we will get these issues while working and we should know how to troubleshoot what kind of errors we get. So everything I'm just doing from scratch. Later we'll have complex pipeline, but we are just starting from the basics. Okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes. Yeah, so we can see the pipeline is available and import error is gone now. So let's just open the pipeline and we should be seeing 3 tasks now. One will check for the file, another will just load the data and then move files to the processed bucket. Okay, so just let's trigger the pipeline. So file is already there, so our first task will pick that file. Okay, so check file will succeed, and our file is already in the landing. So let's try to refresh. Yeah, and now it will move from landing to process once loaded in BigQuery. Okay, so it failed at move file. Let's see what is the reason of failure. We can check in the logs, maybe some typo or wrong name would be there. So just reload, we'll see the logs. Yeah, So what is the error of failure? Not found. The specific bucket does not exist. I think we made some typo in bucket. So let's check the bucket name. So TT landing 000, TT landing 000. This is correct. TT landing 00. Okay. Destination is also 000. And yeah, so this was the mistake we did. Let's upload again. I'll just go to the DAG. Yeah, I'll just upload my file again. So this time it should work. So let's go back, and we could see our code is updated once the latest file is picked up. You can see the current code is fetched at 821. We updated file as 822, so it's not picked up yet. So we'll still see the 001. So let's wait for some time. And yeah, mean the time the code is updating, you don't want your task to be keep running or in the retry state, you can just click on the task and mark it as a failed. Okay, so you can mark that as a failed. Yeah, so it is failed now. So once my latest code is updated, I will trigger that again, so it will just stop unnecessary retry. Okay, so it's still 001. I'll just wait for 1 minute. Let's reload and check now. It's fetched at 823, so our file, yeah, so bucket name is corrected now. So let's go back to graph view and then just trigger the DAG again, whole DAG again. Okay, I could just rerun the task also just by clearing it, but just check the whole DAG again. Okay, so let's check. Yeah, you can see everything is completed, and if I go here, currently file is here. If I refresh, you should see the file in the processed bucket. Okay, so file is disappeared and it would be in the process because we are moving after loading the data, and you will see the data also in BigQuery. So earlier it got updated 1333, now the time is 1355 56. So let's check that. So you can see 1355, so you would see all data as well. So hope you understood how we can handle the Google Cloud Storage bucket data and how we should load the file from storage bucket to BigQuery and then move after the loading. So this is the basic data pipeline we created using the composer, and just we troubleshooted few things, whatever the errors and issues we got, we just troubleshooted here. So that's it for this video, and we see a more complex pipeline in our next video.